Yes, that was a week. Deadline day was a bit bustling. But only because all the big names have already moved on. Here you can catch the important stuff. Plus all the deals and notes for teams for our purposes. The last time we did these rankings, we saw Timo Meier go to New Jersey on a 13-piece deal and Tanner Jeannot went to Tampa in exchange for all the picks. We also knew that Patrick Kane would be a Ranger, although not official. But we have yet to see deals for Mattias Ekholm Jakob Chychrun, Jonathan Quick Drama, the trade for Tyler Bertuzzi or Max Domi, whatever Leafs are doing with their blue streak, roughly 24 other moves. That's why things have changed. But finally, how much? After all these moves, do the rankings really look that different? We'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's use your bonus rank to close out a few teams that have been keeping things interesting over the past week or two. These are not necessarily teams that make the biggest or most important moves, but teams that leave us wondering how things will turn out. It was beast move for the Demons to take Meier, but it was simple. A good team gets great player and improves their trophy odds. These 5 suits are a little more obscure, and that will make them particularly interesting on the stretch down. Top 5 teams in thick of playoff chase. A team doesn't usually sit by line, but the Panthers did nothing and Flames didn't do much. It's a little ironic that 2 teams tied to the biggest offseason trade in years have decided to stay in line with their playoff lives. In Calgary's case, maybe it doesn't matter. Seattle Kraken, they didn't do anything unless you want to count Jaycob Megna, and it's definitely a pick. I take argument that Ron Francis is already playing house money because a team few of us expect to make the playoffs just hold a spot where Flames are in range. Still, this was shaping up to be a magical year in a new market that was still finding its feet. Taking the course may make sense in the long run, but sometimes it's okay to go off script. Los Angeles Kings, they always seemed like the most logical landing spot for Chychrun, but they failed to do so despite the last asking price being as low as it was. There has been some debate among fanbase over whose fault it was. The Coyotes wouldn't hold it and Kings had no place. So what is Rob Blake supposed to do? Finding a way to create the space seems to be the answer. And other teams have done it. Kings went in a different direction, taking Vladislav Gavrikov from Columbus along with a goalkeeping upgrade at Joonas Korpisalo. This meant saying goodbye to Jonathan Quick, which was probably a smart but still brutal move. Everything can be beautiful, but we'll see. New York Rangers have the 2 biggest names in submission line. The real question is whether they are the right 2 guys, especially with Kane and Vladimir Tarasenko playing the same position. Was this a team situation that defined needs and filled top players? Or was it just old-school Rangers who fell in love with the big headlines about star power and hard work of building smart squads? Kane has gotten so cheap that it's hard to criticize the move. And there's a good chance he's still re-energized in New York. Now, are they better than their opponents in the first round? The Demons? You cannot win the playoff rounds based on star power. Except when you do. Pittsburgh Penguins, we all love a good wreck. Right, folks? And the Pens certainly seem to be getting there. After one of the most universally derived lines I can remember. No one understands why any GM would want to add Mikael Granlund. But perhaps the answer is that Ron Hextall doesn't want to but feels he has no choice. Either way, it's been a mess all week. The team is in shambles. The world is on fire and they're still holding a playoff spot. Teams love to play that no one believes us card. But after that chaotic line, it may be true for the Penguins. Are they Kurds now? I'm not sure I'm ready for this. As for the slightly changed rankings after all the moves, the road to the Cup, here are 5 teams with the best chances of winning Stanley Cup. Many NHL GMs were stunned by the return. Just like jaws on the ground. Frank Seravalli May 27, 2023. Jeannot trading was aggressive, but time will tell if it's wise. Meanwhile, the Leafs have at least gotten a little better and built some cushion for the home ice. I still don't think they're betting against these guys, but we'll give them a top 5 timeout for a while. Dallas Stars, I brought AVS back to the top 5 last week and the Stars rounded them up on Saturday, so they have a case too. I liked it very much. It broke real box office records, albeit for a very short time. Perhaps more importantly, AVS hasn't gotten significantly better. Neither has the Wild, and while the Jets do, I don't think you've moved Winnipeg ahead of Dallas yet. As for Pacific, I don't like Knights gamble in quick and Oilers are better but still all over map. The Stars have way, and if they do pass through Colorado, they'll at least have chance at puncher. If not favorite, Carolina Hurricanes, they did almost nothing. Even after their owners said they were going to be aggressive, they had cover-ups. They were playing Timo Meier. They needed a striker after losing Max Pacioretty and their opponents were getting better. And in the end, Jesse Puljujarvi and Shane settled in Gostisbehere. Either way, it's hard to be disappointed after seeing them dominate Lightning. Colorado Apprentice, I'm not usually a fan of our big addition will be a guy coming back. An injured thing that GMs love to break at this time of year, especially after quiet lines. The return of Gabriel Landeskog will be huge. The question is whether this will happen because it doesn't seem like a sure thing. He's skating again, but there's no timetable for the comeback. They also missed Josh Manson for a long time, while Kale Makar is back after his second concussion. If you're healthy at the end of the season, pay attention. But at this point, that's not a guarantee. New Jersey Devils, they got better. The Hurricanes didn't, and we'll see if the Rangers keep up. For now, this raises the Demons up the rankings. Also, Mike Greer's eyes didn't turn the back of his head like The Undertaker did when the Demons asked for it. CYGQNHGHY4. Season 1 Episode 1 Down Goes Brown February 27, 2023 about the Boston Bruins.